Hey guys, let's discuss current affairs. We begin with a question on the Vice President's election. We have had Jagdeep Dhankar resigning as the Vice President of India in recently. Now, in his place, a new guy would come in. But importantly, how does the election happen? See, the Vice President of India's office is the second most important office in the land. Of course, the head of the state is the President of India. Now, if the Vice President of India wants to resign, all he has to do is to address a letter, his resignation, to the President of India. And who does the President of India address his letter, as you know, when she or he wants to resign? To the Vice President of India. Okay, yes, that's how it works. Now, Article 324 governs the Election Commission's activities. The Election Commission of India, as you know, is the primary electioneering body in India. It conducts elections to the Lok Sabha, to the Rajya Sabha, and to the two houses, the state legislatures, the office of the president and the vice president. Now, when we talk about state houses, please understand this is a state election commission that does it, but it's a part of the Election Commission of India itself. So, Article 324 governs the functioning of the Election Commission of India. As of today, Election Commission of India comprises 3 members. One is the Chief Election Commissioner, the other 2 being election commissioners. The question here, we will focus only on, question being about the Vice President's office, we will focus on the Vice President's office. The Vice President's office, someone has to stand for election. There must be 20 proposers and 20 seconders. So, if you want to stand for the Vice President's election, you must fulfill certain criteria. Number 1 would be, you must be 35 years of age. You must be at least 35 years of age, and you must be eligible for election to the Rajya Sabha. Please know that I am not talking of normal qualification criteria like must be a citizen of India, must be of sound mind and all. So, these are the more important ones. 35 years of age and should be eligible for qualification for election to the Rajya Sabha. So, the name must be proposed by at least 20 proposers and backed by 20 seconders. And there must be at least the candidate must deposit 15,000 rupees in the RBI as security deposit. So, that's about the candidate, and of course, as you would know that once the election is held, the Vice President is elected by an electoral college. So, what is this electoral college? The electoral college, when it comes to the Vice President of India's election, comprises all MPs, all members of parliament. Okay, all members of parliament. So, the Rajya Sabha has 245, okay, and the Lok Sabha has 543. So, 543 plus 245 members, that's about 788, 788 members elect the Vice President of India. Please know this. When it comes to the Vice President's office, all MPs are eligible to vote. All MPs. This includes 543 Lok Sabha members who are elected directly by the people of India. Now, the Rajya Sabha, as you would know, comprises 245 members, of who 12 are nominated by the President of India. And this 245 includes nomination members. So, Vice President's electoral office, all the members of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. So, all MPs there. Now, one of them, of course, anyone gets +1 vote is elected. It's always +1 majority. In democracy, it works like +1 majority. Now, I am not going to use words like, transferable votes and everything. These are all high funder stuff. Let's stick to simple things. So, that's how it is. And you know what? The longest serving Vice President, we have had 14 Vice Presidents. 14 Vice Presidents, of whom 6 went on to become, the presidents. Only 6 of 14 Vice Presidents became, President of India. And one more thing you need to know is this. Of these 14 vice presidents, 2 we can look at consider differently. One, of course, is Hamid Ansari. Hamid Ansari has had the longest tenure as the Vice President of India. 2 tenures, 2 terms basically. So, apart from this, there is one more, Krishna Kant, we need to look at. Krishna Kant is the only Vice President of India to die in office. So, as the Vice President of India, while he was Vice President of India, he died. Yeah. And of course, there is resignation part. Jagdeep Dhankar is the latest in that saga. Okay. So, that is a bit about the Vice President of India's election. Now, one seriously interesting thing about the Vice President of India's office. What is the salary of the Vice President of India? 0. The Vice President of India has no salary. Yes, the Vice President of India is not paid any salary. Of course, there are perks like home, there is a big house, there are other attendant perks like medical insurance, all that stuff basically. But as far as salary is concerned, 0 salary. Now, you may wonder, hey, Bharat, I had read this that, the Vice President of India's salary is 4 lakh rupees per month. Well, ladies and gentlemen, please know one thing, it is not as the Vice President of India. 4 lakh rupees per month is paid to the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. And who is the chairman of the Rajya Sabha? The Vice President is the ex officio chairperson of the Rajya Sabha. So, whoever is the Vice President of India automatically becomes the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. And as as the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, that is in that capacity as the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, the Vice President is paid 4 lakh rupees per month. Otherwise, as Vice President, 0 salary. Okay. And the Vice President of India is the only presiding officer who is not a member of the House. See, Lok Sabha Speaker is a member of the House. When it comes to Vice President, the Vice President is not a member of the Rajya Sabha, but presides over it. Okay. So, that is a lot about that we discussed about the Vice President of India's office. Okay guys, I hope you got the dope on this, whatever you required. Let us look at something more. Name the Indian Navy's indigenously home-built hydrographic survey ship that visited, hydrographic measuring oceans, ocean bed, what's there in the waters, and of course, waters in plural means water body. What's there, what kinds of mineral resources, all that stuff. So, these kinds of survey ships are very important, economically and of course strategically. So, India's home-built hydrographic survey that visited a Malaysian port recently to boost maritime and hydrographic cooperation. What is it called? INS Sandhyak. This is Sandhyak. It's a new category. There is an old category called INS Sandhyak, but that's been discarded now. So, the new category of INS Sandhyak will have another, I think it's called Nirdeshak. I am not very confident, but I think that's a that's a name, Nirdeshak. So, INS Nirdeshak and INS Sandhyak are 2 vessels under this. They are 2 hydrographic vessels. And the old Sandhyak, these 3 plus Sandhyak 4, and there is one more I am not able to recall, Darshak. Darshak is already mentioned. So, that is about it. So, it's already there now. I did not look at the screen correctly, any which way. Okay. So, INS, as you would know, is Indian Naval Ship. See, India's Navy is one of the largest navies in the world. We aim to have a blue ocean navy or blue navy so that we can control the Indian Ocean. Because India has traditionally believed that the Indian Ocean is its own lake, its own backyard. So, we need to have control over it. The central government has initiated the impeachment proceedings against, Justice Verma, Yashwant Verma, a High Court judge, Delhi High Court judge. Now he is of course a part of, he is sitting judge of Allahabad High Court. He was transferred after he was found of, cash was found at his home, and then he was suspended and all that stuff. So, impeachment proceedings. See, once impeachment proceedings start, a special committee is, special committee investigates. It is a 3-member committee. If found guilty of unbecoming behavior, incapacity to sit in the court, lot of lack of sound mind and all that. Corruption is one of them. Yeah, that is when I say incapacity, when I say unsound mind, and when I say more importantly unbecoming behavior, that's where corruption comes in, the last one. So this Justice Verma, Yashwant Verma, was found, in his home there was a fire, and when the fire tenders came in, the personnel found there was a large stash of cash, which some of which had burned down, but there were huge wads, WADS, wads means bundles of cash that was lying around, and he could not explain as to why it was there. So he was suspended, and of course the Supreme Court is now hearing a motion against him. So whether he will be impeached or not, we don't know. The first person, if I am not wrong, the first guy against whom, first High Court judge against whom impeachment proceedings had started was Veeraswamy Ramaswamy. So I am not very sure if this guy would be impeached. He may just resign. You never know. Okay. So these are the things, my friends, that at least 50 Rajya Sabha MPs must sign the motion, and at least 100 Lok Sabha MPs. As of now, 200 MPs have signed in the motion against Yashwant Verma, Justice Yashwant Verma. So that's one. Let's go past this. Which organization has published a growing retail digital payments report? Now the idea is it focuses on the value of the importance of interoperability between platforms and everything. So the International Monetary Fund has come out with this report. Ladies and gentlemen, India is a world leader in global retail digital payments, and we have the highest number of digital payments in the world. Yeah. When it comes to International Monetary Fund, it's headed by usually I talk about their head offices and everything, or their CEOs or their heads. Just one thing you need to know: International Monetary Fund, my friends, was created to help countries overcome balance of payments crisis. A balance of payments crisis arises when a country does not have sufficient foreign exchange reserves to pay for its imports, and to pay off foreign loans. So we faced this crisis in 1991. We had about $1 billion, and $1 billion, see, different sources will give you different numbers. Some say $1.2 billion, some say $800 million. Take round figure, not $1 billion. So India in 1991 had $1 billion, which would have taken care of our imports and other needs for about 4 to 6 weeks, and after that we would not have had any money. So consequently, we would not have been able to pay our imports, and we would not have been able to repay our loans. We could have defaulted. So it is in these times that India approached the IMF, International Monetary Fund, and asked for a loan. The International Monetary Fund said, okay, we will pay you loan, we will give you a loan, but you need to change the nature of your economy. So what they gave us is a loan called SAF, Structural Adjustment Facility. Structural Adjustment Facility. They said that we need to change the structure of economy by allowing private participation in those sectors where only government could be there. We were asked to bring in foreign investment in those sectors where both public and private investments were allowed, in domestic investments were allowed. So a lot of things. And we were also asked to sell off a lot of those businesses which the government had no business to be in. So in effect, LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalization. Some other day I will tell you the story of this entire thing, yeah, but that's about it. So usually we discuss, last week also we discussed the first 4, but let's look at the World Trade Organization. This was started on 1st January 1995. The World Trade Organization has 166 members, if I am not wrong, and it's headquartered in Geneva. As you know, Geneva is in Switzerland. okay, and it's headed by a Nigerian diplomat called Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. She is the first woman to be the Director General of, first woman and first African to be the Director General of the World Trade Organization. Okay. So, one Nigerian heads the WTO. That's about it. Okay. Just remember our UPI, Unified Payments Interface, which is created by the NPCI, which is National Payments Corporation of India, is the world's largest digital payments platform. Sorry. The FTA, the Free Trade Agreement with India and the European Free Trade Association, a 4-nation bloc, will be implemented from 1st October 2025. So, these, what is it that I have highlighted? Okay, let me tell you what are the 4 countries. The 4 countries here would be Norway. Okay, that's Norway, guys. 1, 2 would be, oh, I think it's a little Iceland. And then we have what is it, Switzerland, and the 4th one, ladies and gentlemen, is the tiny country of Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein. This is the spelling. Liechtenstein. Okay, Tenstein, Stein. So, these 4 countries have entered into a free trade agreement with India. Now, what is the volume of trade? That's important. India's exports to these 4 countries number $32 billion. Indian imports from these 4 countries are about $23 billion. So, we have a trade surplus. Okay. Now, one more thing you need to know is that just a second. These countries have told us that, look, in the next 15 years, we'll bring in $100 billion in FDI into India, and this will create, 1 million direct jobs, that is 10 lakh jobs, okay, in India. These are all conjectures, guesses. 15 years hence, no one knows what would happen, but that's the idea. So, this kind of a free trade agreement is good. Free trade agreement is where taxes go down, tariffs go down considerably, from 20%, 25, 15, 20, whatever double digit percentages, they come down to either single or zero, lower, single digits or zero. So, no taxes would mean goods become cheaper, further cheaper, and they gain access to a bigger market. That's how it is. It's a win-win because, we stand to gain access to, quite a big market. Though the populations are pretty small in these countries, but still these are markets. Which company has built Samudra Prachet, India's second indigenous pollution control vessel for the Indian Coast Guard, Goa shipyard? The first one, these are basically, the idea is to, have clean the oceans and everything. The second, this is the second one. The first one is Samudra Pratap. The first pollution control vessel in India is Samudra Pratap. The second one is, of course, as is mentioned, Samudra Prachet. That's the first one. Second of that. Indian Coast Guard is headed by Paramesh Sivamani. Okay. Name the new chairman of the IRDAI. IRDA, it's called. Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, Ajay Seth. He is a former IAS officer, retired IAS officer, former economic secretary, and also he was a member of the RBI's central board. Is new chairperson of IRDI. This chairman's office was vacant for about 3-4 months now. The previous guy, Debashish Panda had left, had retired, but the government did not fill in till about recently. Fill in that office till about recently. Anil Kumar Lahoti is the chairperson of TRAI, which as you know is the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. Arvind Panagiria, economist and the chairperson of 16th Finance Commission. 16th Finance Commission. These two are members of, members basically. Okay, this guy is a full-time member of the Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog. Rajiv Gauba, former cabinet secretary, is a full-time member of the Niti Aayog. And Ajay Narayan Jha is a full-time member of the Finance Commission. 16th Finance Commission. 16th Finance Commission. Okay, there we go, guys. In collaboration with which institution, has the Indian Council of Medical Research developed a new chimeric malarial vaccine candidate named Adfalsivax. It's all of them. One regional medical research center is in Bhubaneswar, National Institute of Malaria Research in New Delhi, Department of Biotechnologies, National Institute of Immunology. Now, all of them basically. Now, think about this, my friends, that this Indian Council of Medical Research is headed by Dr. Rajiv Bahal. He is the Director General of ICMR. Rajiv Bahal. Dr. Rajiv Bahal. Okay. I guess that's about it. Let me clear this. There are some questions that we don't really need to discuss much. This is one of them. Indian Railways defeated Indian Navy 3-1 to win the 96 MCC Murugappa Gold Cup tournament, which is a hockey tournament. Okay, Murugappa is a Chennai-based large business house. Okay, huge business house. So you may be familiar with Coromandel Fertilizers, Paris, and all. Yeah. Which country has announced its withdrawal from UNESCO? United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization is UNESCO. It's a UN specialized agency. This was started in 1945, and UNESCO, my friends, is headquartered in Paris. It's headquartered in Paris. And one more thing you need to know: its Secretary General is Audrey Azoulay. She is a French woman, Audrey Azoulay of France, Secretary General of the UNESCO. The US has just announced that we will not be a part of the UNESCO. The UN has had a love-hate relationship with UNESCO, so nothing extraordinary about this. I have written here 3 UNESCO member states. It has our member states are not UN member states: Cook Islands, New and Palestine. Palestine is an observer in the UN. The 2 UN member states, Israel and Liechtenstein, are not UNESCO members. Okay, yeah, some extraordinary thing. Okay, some extra stuff here. I found this could be pretty extraordinary in terms of adding to our knowledge. The capitals of Mexico, Russia, and all this. Mexico has a president named, Mexico's capital is Mexico City. The president is Claudia Sheinbaum. I didn't want to discuss this, but anyway, since I mentioned it, I'll finish this. Claudia Sheinbaum. Okay. The rest you have been quite familiar. You are quite familiar with. According to the Numbeo Safety Index, which is the world's safest country of 2025. When I read this index, when I went through the entire thing, I was flabbergasted, which means surprised beyond words. Okay. Now, what exactly is the index about? It talks about how safe things are, and this index has 2 numbers. One is, this is year, this is mid-year. Sorry, this is for the entire year. This is for the entire year. So, our entire year, Andorra is the safest place. But how big is Andorra? Where is it? This is Andorra. You see here, this. Yeah. Can I make it big? No, I can't make it big. But this is tiny, very tiny. How big is it? In numbers, 467 square kilometers with a population of 88,000. Can you believe this? That's Andorra. On the border between France and Spain. Tiny country. Safe, unsafe, what? How does it? Yeah. And second thing, it's always, what is the capital of Andorra? It's called Andorra de Vella. Andorra de Vella. And one more thing, it's headed by two persons, not one. Always, the president of France. So, the French president, I will put it here, French president, and there is a place called Urgell. So, the Bishop of Urgell, which is in Spain. It's here, Catalonia. So, two guys head this place, the French president and the Bishop of Urgell. Tiny country. Now, why this kind of a indexes should not be trusted? I will tell you why. Okay. Now, this is full year. The mid year, let us say, is United Arab Emirates. Okay. Now, one more thing. What is India's rank? 66. Fair? Safest. What is Pakistan's rank? 65. Can you believe this? Pakistan is safer than India. And what is Palestine's rank? 61. Can you believe Palestine is safer than India? I mean, it's a country that is torn by war. Every day people are dying. There is a war, ongoing war every day. Yeah. But this is how these numbers are. I don't trust these numbers. Not because, these are Western oriented numbers. Western means made by Western agencies and all. But more importantly, what is the basis? They may say some basis, but look at this. For the last 2.5 years, there has been a war going on in Palestine, but it's ranked 61st peaceful, safest place. And India is ranked 66, where there is no war, no civil war, no war-like conditions anywhere in the country. Pakistan has had, multiple bombings. School children are being killed, but it's safe. So, you should not take this, we should look at it from the exam perspective. Okay, should we learn for the exam? Yes, we should learn for the exam. But beyond that, don't go take this, rankings quite seriously, my friends. You see this place here? It's called the Iberian Peninsula, IBERIAN. Andorra, Spain, Portugal make the Iberian Peninsula, IBERIAN. Okay? Yeah. With which nation did OpenAI sign a new strategic partnership to deepen collaboration on AI, artificial intelligence, security, research and explore investing in AI infrastructure? The UK has done this. Not a great question, but I would like to tell you about OpenAI. OpenAI is a company that was started by 11 persons. 11, okay, of whom 2 are important. Sam Altman and another guy called Elon Musk. Sam Altman is also the CEO of this company. Okay, and it's headquartered in a place called San Francisco, SFO. San Francisco. That's OpenAI. That's about it. Its most famous product is what most people use, ChatGPT. And it may surprise you that I have never used an AI tool, because somewhere I believe that this will make me lazy and it will outsource my thinking. I may outsource my thinking, my curiosity to these people, to a tool, which I don't want to. I want to find things on my own. Yeah. So, spending 5-6 hours to learn for this, for this PPT is for this class is a wonderful thing, my friends. Meet Geeta Gopinath. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first Deputy Managing Director of the IMF. Earlier, she was the Chief Economist at the IMF. She did her BA and MA, from the University of Delhi, and then she went to Princeton, if I'm not wrong, or Princeton or Harvard, where she did her Harvard, I think, where she did her PhD. Yeah, and She became the chief economist of the IMF, and one of the PhD advisors was a guy called Kenneth Rogoff, who also became the chief economist of the IMF. Another economist, this is 3 advisors I said, Kenneth Rogoff, okay, he became the chief economist of the IMF. Then there was this guy Ben Bernanke, who was the chairman of the US Federal Reserve, America's central bank. So big shot advisors. Number 3, Paul Olivier Gorinchas. You must be wondering what is his name. Paul Olivier Gorinchas. You know who is this guy? He is a current chief economist of the IMF. So his student became the chief economist before him. Okay. So, but she's now quit the IMF and she wants to go back to Harvard, where she's a professor. Yeah. People work extremely hard, don't they? Yeah. Exceptional learning, my friends, brings them to this kind of stage. So, this is about an acquisition that Titan had done, which is of a company called Damas Jewelry, which is based in the United Arab Emirates. So, Titan, my friends, is a joint venture. I will just focus on this. Is a joint venture between Tata Group, okay, and TIDCO, Tamil Nadu Industrial Development Corporation. What is it? Tamil Nadu Industrial Development Corporation. Yes. Tamil Nadu Industrial Development Corporation holds about 26% of this company, and it's the largest investor in this company, institutional investor. Think about it. Yeah. So, Titan, that's how I think people say that's how the name comes, ta kind of thing. It could be also signified, Titan means giant, as in English, as in the English language and Greek mythology. Okay. Its CEO, it owns brands like Fast Track, okay, Tanishq, isn't it? You know this. And its CEO is C.K. Venkatraman. C.K. Venkatraman. That's about it. Barely anything else to discuss about this. Of course, these are companies you have this Kalyan Jewelers, Malabar Gold. Remember, the word Malabar always relates to the Kerala coast. So, Malabar is from Kerala. Yeah. The Indian Army has received the first batch of Apache helicopters from United States. Apache is also an American native tribe, okay, Native American tribe, and Apache helicopters are made by Boeing. These are considered to be some of the most advanced helicopters in the world. Boeing, okay. Boeing is one of the world's largest defense contractors. It makes rocket engines, it makes rockets, spacecraft, it makes missiles, aircraft, commercial aircraft, all kinds of things. And its CEO is a guy called Kelly Ortberg. Kelly Ortberg, that's the CEO. The company is not doing well, especially with all these air crashes everywhere basically. Hindon Air Base is located in near Ghaziabad in Uttar Pradesh. With which ministry did the Life Insurance Corporation of India sign a memorandum of understanding to promote its Bima Sakhi Yojana in villages? Bima Sakhi Yojana is where women could be enrolled as life insurance agents, career agents basically, okay. They could pick this career to sell, what we say, insurance policies and everything. So, under this scheme, women agents would be given, Bima Sakhis would be given, Sakhi is friend, it's a stipendary, that is for the first 3 years, the agent is given stipend, okay, 7,000 rupees per month first year, second year 6,000, K, the K is very important, K is kilo, kilo is 1,000. So, first year 7,000 rupees per month, second year 6,000 rupees per month, third year of course 5,000 rupees per month. This is subject to 65% of the policies are in force at the time of this. So, the policies made in the first year should be in force in the second year, and of course, in the policies made in the first and second year should also be force in the third year. That is when they get stipend. Okay. Being in force means the consumer, that the insured person is paying premiums. That's what it means. Who are these basically? Rural development and agriculture and farmers welfare. Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, that's a minister. Commerce and industry, Piyush Goyal. Piyush Goyal. Ministry of Finance, of course, Nirmala Sitharaman. Labor and employment, Mansukh Mandavia. Mansukh Mandavia. Mansukh Mandavia. Okay. He is also the sports minister. He is also the sports minister, Union sports minister. Name the former CEO of ICICI Bank who was found guilty by an appellate tribunal of accepting a 64 crore bribe. This is a major scam, my friends. Chanda Kochar was a CEO and MD of ICICI Bank, considered at that time the most powerful woman, businesswoman in India. Now, ICICI Bank is one of the three most important banks in India. HDFC Bank, SBI being the other two. She was accused of corruption and she was forced to resign. She didn't resign of her own choice. So, what exactly happened? Let me tell you. See, her husband Deepak Kochar owns a company called New Power Renewable Energy Company. Okay. This company, now let me bring in another party, Videocon Group, headed by the Dhoot family. This is a surname, like the Ambanis run Reliance, the Burmans Dabur. Dhoot family owns Videocon Group. So, between 2009 and 11, a loan of 3,250 crore was given to the Videocon Group by ICICI Bank. At that time, Videocon Group was not doing well. Despite that, a series of loans were given by ICICI Bank under Chanda Kochar, to Videocon. The financial health of Videocon Group was pretty bad. So, in that case, these loans should not have been advanced, but they were advanced. Why? Because the Dhoot family had said that they would invest 64 crore rupees in this bank, New Power Bank. Apart from the other things, I'm not getting into other things like bribes and everything. 64 crore means they would invest money in the company owned by Deepak Kochar, the husband of Chanda Kochar. So, you invest there, I'll give you a loan. Whose money was it? It was public money. You understand that? Yeah. So, she was forced to resign, and of course, now she has been found guilty. Shikha Sharma, ex-CEO of Axis Bank, Arundhati Bhattacharya, ex-chairperson of SBI, but currently chairperson of Salesforce India. Nainalal Kirbai, ex-HSBC, ex-CEO of HSBC India. Usha Ananta Subramaniam, ex-CEO of Punjab National Bank, also, involved in that Mehul Choksi scam. That is what, came out initially. We don't know whether it's true or not. Okay. Anuradha Thakur was appointed as director of the Central Board of the Reserve Bank of India. Which of the following statements true? All of them are true. These are very technical stuff. I told you that Ajay Seth, who is a new chairperson of the Insurance Regulatory Authority of India, Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, is the ex-director of the RBI Central Board, ex-Economic Affairs Secretary. In his place, Anuradha Thakur has come in. Okay, in his place, Anuradha Thakur has come in. So, basically, what is a central board? It's appointed by the Government of India. It comprises a governor and not more than 4 deputy governors. It comprises 10 non-official directors nominated by government from various fields and 2 government officials. So, plenty of these things, my friends, too technical, too bureaucratic for us to even spend time here. Talks between Iran and the E3 countries concluded in Istanbul. Istanbul is the largest city in Turkey. Yeah. In this regard, what are the E3 countries? These 3. E is Europe. Yeah. European countries, 3 countries. UK, France and Germany. They had been talking with the Iranians for a long time, but the Iranians have been quite cagey about the nuclear program. See, these countries say that Iran should roll back its nuclear weapons program if it has any, and it should provide access to the inspectors from the IAEA. But Iran has been stonewalling things like, we don't have anything, but we will not open doors of our nuclear plants to outside inspectors. Narendra Modi has become the second longest serving Prime Minister with an uninterrupted tenure. Which of the following correctly represents the total tenures of the Prime Ministers of India in descending order? Jawaharlal Nehru, 1947 to 64. Indira Gandhi, 1966 to 77 and 1980 to 84. Prime Minister Modi since 2014. Manmohan Singh, 2004 to 14. Now, I want you to know one thing, but between 47 and 51, the first general elections were held in 51. During that time, let me put it here. Nehru was not elected by the people. Okay, he was elected by the Congress Pradesh Committee as the Prime Minister of India. Okay. Initially, of course, there is a story. Maybe next week I will tell you the story. But electorally, Nehru started in 51. Okay, because direct election, everything. 47, he was made the Prime Minister. Electorally, he became Prime Minister in 51. So, Nehru, Indira Gandhi, Modi, Manmohan Singh. Maybe I'll bring this question back and we will start with that discussion next week with these guys. The DRDO successfully conducted flight trials of the ULPGM. What is this? Unmanned Aerial Vehicle Launch Precision Guided Missile. Unmanned Aerial Vehicle, UAV, means a drone. Okay. Launch Precision Guided Missile. So, that's a thing, my friends. We have been becoming, today drone warfare is the most elaborate, most sophisticated, most important, weapon, rather strategy that has come to be in recent warfare. You look at the Russia-Ukraine war, you look at, India, you look at Iran-Israel war, India-Pakistan war, all this, in each of these crises, drones have played a significant role, isn't it? Haven't they? Yeah. Dr. Samir Kamath is the head of DRDO. The Ministry of Food Processing Industries will organize the 4th edition of the World Food India 2025 in New Delhi under the theme of Processing for Prosperity. See, food processing in India is pretty low. We grow tomatoes, but a lot of tomatoes are not bought by industries, thereby they are wasted, and it is believed that food processing has a potential of about $1 trillion, that's huge money in the next 20 years. But we'll have to buckle up, we'll have to ensure that our farmers have access to cold storages and better industry relations. Who is the Union Minister of Food Processing? Chirag Paswan. Chirag, C-H-I-R-A-G. Chirag Paswan. P-A-S-W-A-N. Chirag Paswan. Which state has announced the establishment of India's first Center of Excellence for Hornbill Conservation? Tamil Nadu. Hornbill, I could have had a photograph of a hornbill, never mind. Hornbill is like, it looks like a woodpecker, but it is not, my friends. It has a very, strong, beak basically. So, Tamil Nadu has set this up in a place called Annamalai Tiger Reserve. Annamalai Tiger Reserve near in Coimbatore district. And you would find hornbill. Normally, hornbill is associated with Nagaland because there is a hornbill festival there. Okay, it's a hornbill festival there. That's about it. As per the Henley Passport Index 2025, which country's passport remains the most powerful in the world, granting visa-free access to 193 of the 227 locations here? Well, ladies and gentlemen, please know that it is Singapore. Singapore is world's #1. If you hold a Singapore passport, you can get to any country in the world visa free. You have a passport, you simply walk into America, Iceland, any country in the world. But you are in India. Before that, let's look at two countries. In the second place is Japan and South Korea. In the second place are Japan and South Korea, who have access to 190 countries. The citizens have the passport holders of Japan and South Korea have access, visa-free access to 190 countries. In the third place, there are 7 European nations, 7, which have access to 189 countries. Since what are these countries? You have Germany, Switzerland, you have France, Netherlands. I'll not go there. All this. What is India's rank? India's rank is 77. India is 77 with visa-free access to 53 countries. Visa-free access to 53 countries, if I'm not wrong, 53 or 59, 53 countries. Yeah. Okay. That's all from me. Have a lot of fun. Thank you for being here. Enjoy yourself.